is the Crucible. It is a place like no other. And all who aspire to greatness must pass through it. It exists to measure the fraction of a second, the thousandth of an inch, that separates mediocrity from greatness. Its calling to test the best against the best, against themselves, and against history.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the MLR All-Star Game Selection Show for Season 3. I'm Caleb Athan, as you probably know by now, joined by Jason Birdwell and Mr. Milo Grams over here.
Hey, how's it going?
Everyone.
Who are here to provide support with stats and stuff like that, because I have no idea what I'm talking about. And they do. So.
I think so.
I said you know what you're talking about. We're good.
So I guess I'm acting as sort of a producer here, so I guess I can let it flow to make sure he knows how things are set up here. So we have a location first, and then AL, and then NL. Have you revealed the location yet?
I have not.
All right. So do you want to do that? We could do.
Yeah, I'm just sending Milo the list.
Ooh.
Exciting. Oh, good stuff.
Audio super
unbalanced. That's super unfortunate. Oh, there it goes.
Okay, I'm kind of fucking with the audio because apparently it's unbalanced. So I guess we can, while you guys figure that out. Who's louder, me or the people with me? Am I louder than them or am I softer than them right now? I have to wait for the thing to catch up. Yeah, I did start a new thing, which reset the
same time, so you can tell who is louder and not. Well, I did for a little bit.
So I'm softer. Okay.
Well, they say Caleb is loudest, I think.
Well, I can't.
That doesn't surprise me.
I mean, like, that's, you guys are relative to how you are on my Discord. So
you other two are really quiet. Okay. I don't know which other two, but I guess I'm really quiet. Milo is.
All right, so I just turned myself up in comparison to them. So let me know, is this better? We can just figure this out real quick. Milo is soft as fuck.
Well, that's true outside of this, but
I was told I'm softer, and then now it's saying that Milo is softer.
Oh, no, I think they were saying that the other two.
Now it's better. Okay.
Like compared to Jay.
Why am I not surprised that Chicken's got an error for spamming too many messages?
I don't know.
All right, I just turned myself up some more. So tell me how that is. Are you listening, Milo? So you can like sort of.
I'm listening. Oh yeah, I should keep speaking, I guess, every once in a while.
I just turned myself up a little bit, so I think it should be fine now, from what people have said.
Okay. People are talking and saying that it's good, so.
All right, whatever. I'll monitor the chat, and if it's still bad, all right. They're saying fine, so I think we're okay. All right.
Great.
So we're gonna be starting with the park, I guess, which I have a little bit of a graphic. Not too great because I'm not very good at things, but it'll work. Oh my god.
So we started with the when we voted for the park, we ended up getting a neutral park. So we had to put up a vote to see which neutral park we went to. And after about a day of voting, we are going to be hosting the All-Star Game in Detroit.
Woo, Detroit!
At Baseball Cat Park.
Baseball Cat.
Baseball Cat Park. the best named stadium out there, except for maybe Dodger Stadium at Chase Field. But
Hey man, Wawa Park at Spring Garden's pretty good.
um,
Everyone's saying boo. Anywhere but New York. That's funny. So yeah, this is
how was it rigged?
ranked. Caleb, you play for New York now or Detroit now.
Yeah, great.
Baseball Cat Park it's provided some home field advantage to Detroit this year. They're 3-2 there, while 2-4 on the road. So it's clearly an advantage to whoever's home. Which I assume is AL. Is that the case?
Does that count as the Tigers All-Star? Because it should. It does not.
That's funny.
Oh, that's a good one. God.
Miles gonna save me because he actually knows what he's talking about.
Like I'm literally just finding stuff as quickly as possible and being like, "Wow, I do this."
All right. Well, we do have
Detroit had.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I was just looking at I don't know if Detroit has anyone that's All-Star game worthy, but they definitely do. So we'll see how they survive. Although I know whether they do or not.
You say you don't know if Detroit has someone All-Star game worthy?
It's everyone. Everyone has one person.
Oh, I know. I mean, I didn't know if they could have a stadium sub for them, if that would be worth it.
God.
I don't think so, and I'm actually a little surprised with well, we'll get there. We'll get there.
All right, you guys want to start with the American League?
Sure, we'll start with the American League. Sounds good.
All right, so we have our nice little graphics up here. We're going to be starting with the American League, and this will be all Caleb for announcements. So, whenever you're
Okay.
good.
Our first American League All-Star, the starting catcher, comes from the Oakland Athletics, named Assassin Executioner. Which, by the way, if you have a really complicated name, I'm going to butcher it. I'm not sorry.
I think it's supposed to be Executioner. You pronounce the X.
Is it?
I don't know.
I always
remember
pronounce. I was a former teammate of his, and I've always pronounced it Zach. But
I remember when he joined, and he just wanted to be known as the Executioner, and I was like, gotta put a little bit more of a first name there. I used to be a little more strict than we are now, though. Yeah, he's been very good though.
yeah, he's actually had a really solid year. He's batting, he's batting 321, 387, 857, 4 homers, 10 ribbies.
Yeah, he had a problem. He struggled with Padres, I remember, so it's good to see him doing well.
He went to an actually good team. No, I shouldn't say that. I'm a Padre.
I mean, hey. You're not wrong.
We got 40 players to go through, so let's move this right along. Starting at first base will be from the Kansas City Royals, Tyler Gordon.
I'll tell you the truth, I have no idea who this is.
Tyler Gordon absolutely belongs in the All-Star game. I don't know if you've been seeing. If you look at the stat leaderboard, he literally just is all over the place.
Holy shit! What the fuck?
He's batting 520.
Yeah, I'm not the historian anymore after my leave in the winter. Holy shit, dude.
He's slugging 1120.
His OBP is under his average.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah.
I think he have a sack fly and no walks probably?
1 walk.
They might have a couple sacrifices in there. But yeah, I mean, long we should spend on each person, but Tyler Gordon deserves to be verbally elated.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
think he's second in total bases. Like, he's just tearing up the league right now. 13 for 25. You guys mentioned that. But man, he's just... And he deserves it. So, and good job, voters.
Moving on to second base, we already have our second Oakland representative. Second baseman Max Wasson. Wasson?
Yeah,
Wasson.
Whatever. I'm good friends with this guy. He's on the r/Phillies mod team. Really cool dude. He struggled in the first half of last season. Definitely has picked it up this season. He picked it up at the second half of last season when Panic took over. A really cool dude. I'm happy to see him here.
Yeah, he's got like most All-Stars a really solid slash line, 357, 438, 750. 8 runs scored. He's doing a lot for the Athletics.
All right. So we have shortstop next.
Shortstop after that is the Boston Red Sox representative, Eric Leader, who I think is no surprise.
Yeah, he's one of the more popular guys on this list, I would say. He came off of a zero difference home run against the Devil Rays. I mean, he's hitting upwards of 400, I think. He has a lot of pop. He hits for average. Pretty obvious choice here.
He really hardly campaigned to be in the All-Star game, and so I have to make a quick mention for AL shortstop Mako Bierman. If anyone else deserves it from the AL, it's Mako. But Eric has campaigned really hard, and he's had a couple zero diffs now, as you mentioned, Jay.
Yeah.
That he absolutely deserves to be in the game.
I do like Mako Bierman's name. I told him that.
Is it Mako or Mako? I'm not really sure.
Bierman sounds like a German or Dutch name, and they probably would pronounce it Mako. But hey, I mean, Mako has pun potential. Like Makoing a championship. Ooh, you could put that on a poster.
Or making beer. Either one. But yeah, Eric Leader, he's an absolute solid candidate for the American League for that shortstop position.
All right, moving on. To third base, representing the Los Angeles Angels, will be Sam Smith.
Ooh, Sam. This guy, I mean, if you looked at his old fake baseball reference profile, like he was batting just a little bit over 100 over his first 2 seasons. He was a first overall selection in the first ever draft, so he's been around for a while. He's one of the veterans here. Really nice to see him put it together, like, because I do remember his video from his original draft, which Milet was around for, and he had this really funny little skit where he put on a Ravens hat first, and then he was like, "Oh wait, this is baseball," and then switched it up, and I was like, "All right, I'm happy to be on the Orioles."
Yes. Sam is he's been really active and really like involved with the league and continuously his first 2 years. So to see him kind of fully come into bloom now is amazing.
16 RBIs on 11 hits too. I mean,
yeah, he's tied for the league lead in home runs with 6.
And I mean, he has 37 total bases, and the next closest is 30, which is crazy. And he didn't play a full game.
Fantastic player. He really is first round material. I'm happy that Meerkat has found something in him. Hopefully he stays on that team for a while.
He destroyed that vote. 64 votes. Next closest was 18.
Oh, wow.
So.
He absolutely deserves it. And honestly, like the next place would be after him would also be from the Angels. Probably. With Romero.
Actually, not. Romero was in third with 17.
It's still close.
There you go.
Second actually was Dirtbag Darrell from the Yankees.
I can see that. That makes sense.
But anyway.
Yeah, Smith absolutely deserves it. Good job, Sam. Congrats.
Moving on to left field, I don't think this is a surprise either. Babatunde Alatotune.
Recently quote unquote traded to Oakland. Quote,
representing the Oakland A's again.
Yeah.
I wonder how that's gonna work because he was voted in as part of Tampa Bay.
I think that was an April Fool's trade, wasn't it?
It was indeed.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Well, whatever. Works.
Which is lame. He was like, because he asked the GM lounge, like, does anyone want to do April Fool's trade? And I was like, they're lame. I still fell for it. Because Wilbur was like, oh, this is real? And then I was like, well, if Wilbur says it's real, then...
I saw Dom as part of the trade, and I was like, Dom going to Tampa Bay? Like, that's what I remember, but I don't know if that's something that's happening or not. But...
Let's talk about Bob a little bit.
Yeah, I was about to say we're still...
Bob was batting 346, 357, 808. 7 runs scored, 4 homers.
He's above average. He's not the best guy here, but yeah, he has a lot of homers compared to the rest of the league.
He's a really active guy and a really likable guy too. I don't know of a single person who doesn't like Baba.
Yeah, Baba's nice. He has a nice avatar, nice profile picture.
Yeah, Baba took over umping for me too, which was great, and he did great. So thanks for that, Baba. And Yeah, I mean, you look at anyone with more than 10 at bats for left fielders, he dominates them. So
It's fun watching chat.
I haven't even looked at chat.
Coming up next, we have center field representing the Texas Rangers. We have Dixie Wrecked.
Dixie, he almost got that MVP last season. I didn't know he was doing as well this season, but yeah, he's sporting a really nice average. Doing what he does, he's hitting some good homers, 3 in total, which is I would say above league average. Still, we don't really hit much homers at this point in time. And a lot of plate appearances too. Also, I mean that Texas lineup's pretty shallow, but yeah, he's been around for a while. He gets it done. He's a workhorse. Good pick.
Like I'll be honest, there's a stacked center field for the American League this year. There's a lot of very high quality center fielders.
I think that the reason that Rec caught me so off guard is whenever you think of Texas, you always think of Superbone and Dallas Houston. At least I do. So when I saw it was Wrecked, I was like, oh.
Yeah, exactly. Because I know that Barney's not doing very well this year, so I just kind of for some reason assumed that Wrecked wasn't doing as well, but no, he's doing better this year, I would say.
Yeah.
I remember him not really hitting as well for average, but like his home runs really pushed him up in his OBP, in the slugging percentage. He still has a really high slugging percentage. This guy just hits extra bases. No, go ahead. Sorry.
Moving on to right field. We have representing the Royals again. We have Homer Pimpson.
This guy, I remember often I sort of overlooked him for like mock drafts, and I really shouldn't because he obviously has been around for a while. He's become something of this community and a very potent part of this really dangerous lineup here. Obviously not the one of the better hitters. Maybe I don't know how shallow the right field was for the American League. He's still pretty good though, and I he has a good amount of homers, a good amount of RBIs, and is a swell dude. So I'm happy to see him here.
The highest batting average at right field was 300.
He also has that,
who got votes anyway.
That 905 slugging percentage, which is better than Wrecked by like I think a good 100.
Yeah, well, he only has 5 hits, but 4 of them are homers.
What was the cutoff for like?
No, one's a triple. Sorry.
Being able to vote for someone.
For being able to vote for someone, it was 1 at bat per game when I put up the vote. So it was 9 at bats. I think I made it like I think it was 8 or 9 innings pitched. So.
Yeah, that's fair. I didn't know, so I was like, stat that's like, oh, this person with 4 at bats. No.
Yeah.
Gross. But they not get voted in full tough.
All right, so this is a little awkward. Coming up to the next person, we have a typo in the graphic, which I apologize for. Our designated hitter comes from Detroit, and it is Otis Nixon Sr., not Nick Zor, as I put on the graphic. So.
Oh, I love this guy so much. He's the best Reddit only. I wish he was on the actual Discord. Really cool dude. Really funny dude. I mean, stats aren't that fantastic, but
he's almost the newest dad.
He's really old, so that kind of makes sense. Oh yeah, he's also almost. What is it? Almost.
He's almost the newest dad, and he's been almost the newest dad for over a year now. So that's very concerning.
I mean, he's been on this lineup since the very, very beginning. I mean, it's rare that you will find a guy like this that has just been on since session 1 of season 1. But he's just been, and he's a Reddit only too. He's just been around and kicking. Can't kill off Otis Nixon Sr., let me tell you that.
I was going to make a joke that he is batting 250 as a max homers and was going to rub it in Dart's face, and then Dart's batting 348. So I have no room to say anything about that. Alrighty. So now we get to the pitchers for the AL. Our leading vote getter for pitchers also came from Oakland. It is Joe Runzer.
I love Joe Runzer. He's been doing
Everyone
so
likes to
well.
say Joe sucks. Apparently, he does not.
Once upon a time, I guess. Yeah, I mean, Runzer has had a fantastic season. An ERA over under 1. I've been following him pretty recently. I remember he got a shutout recently. Yeah, he's a really good pitcher this year.
Yeah, he's 5-2.
Yeah, it won't hurt.
ERA of 180, WHIP of 150.
Yeah, we should
It's
change,
actually.
we should change that emote to Joe is okay, I guess.
I have that emote. I made that emote.
Oh yeah, that is an emote. Oh.
Yeah, I made that one.
Darn.
Well, I'm glad it's an emote because that's great.
Yeah, then someone took it and ran with it. Anyway, but Runzer's going to be the starting pitcher for the American League. Coming up behind him is the second pitcher from Tampa Bay, Ed Turner.
Just a
Who,
workhorse.
yeah, Turner's been
Turner.
around. Turner's been really good for as long as I've been around, at least. Like, I don't know what his secret is. I'm jealous.
I mean, 1.27 ERA, a 0.76 WHIP, and 8 Ks per 6.
He's tearing it up, and he's been tough to hit for everyone. So very well deserved.
He has
Think
only
Tampa Bay.
two. He only has 2 losses. I think one was a 1-0 loss in the Polo Grounds. I don't remember where the other one was. But
Yeah, I'm actually surprised we didn't get any Yankees pitchers here because they get a pitch at like 100 difference flyouts. For
Hey, man. We still have
here.
one more slot left to reveal.
this is true.
You're right.
And to spoil that, that last slot is not a Yankees pitcher. It's actually Sardinka from the Toronto Blue Jays.
Another guy who's been on his team since Session 1, Season 1.
Yeah, his ERA is a little bit up there at 2.96 compared to the other pitchers, but his
I think
whip's
he
still
actually got
pretty
voted
solid.
on. I think he got voted on because he's 1-for-1 with a walk and the double. Because that offensive
Probably.
power as well. Maybe. Or no. He's just 1-for-1 with a double. But yeah,
Dude, he's
he's
slugging 2,000. Don't sleep on him.
is. He's doing well. His pitching, like this year, is probably one of his worst years pitching, if not his worst. But he's still got a sub-3 ERA through 5 games. He's playing really well.
If I could have a 1.41 whip be my worst year pitching, I would be very happy.
Yeah, it's
I
a
think it just
it's a shame because he always plays bridesmaid, and it seems like he will do that again this year when it comes to pitcher of the year.
Yeah.
I do
Absolutely.
see a lot of grumblings in the chat that I very much agree with, which is Foxconn was completely robbed.
Foxconn, I would have to. Let me go pull up the voting.
This guy, I guess because of innings pitched. That's probably why. Because he only has 14 innings pitched, but he also has a .84 ERA.
Shoot, wrong page.
I mean, it's really tough. It reminds me of Tim Burr, who got I think 3rd in Season 1's Pitcher of the Year voting, despite having 10 innings pitched, because I think like he only gave up 1 run in that entire span. Like he had like a 0.5 ERA. He's pretty crazy.
does. No, well, he's played a lot of games. He almost seems like he deserves to be there as a reliever,
Yeah.
because these other guys are all starters, and he's absolutely hasn't started any game this year, but he's played 9 of them. So I will say though, sorry to add on, I feel like relieving, maybe this is not diminishing Foxconn's ability, but I feel like relieving is slightly easier because it's not as much time to let the batters get a little grip on you. Although having a .84 ERA regardless is insane.
Foxconn received 24 votes. For reference, Turner received 45.
I would definitely pick Turner over Foxconn, just simply because of those innings pitched. Turner will go so many innings in a game without giving up runs. I think I wouldn't say it's easier, but it definitely I guess it would be easier to go out for only 1 inning, do your work, and go in rather than just staying out there as a starter for multiple innings at a time. I do think Turner is the better, but I could see definitely Foxconn finding his way onto this roster. I could see that argument.
Alrighty. So now we get to the subs, the bench players. Our first AL sub is Jericho Caulfield from the Cleveland Indians.
This piece of shit sniped a free agent from me. Sorry, I can't stop cursing. I have
What?
a problem.
Did we say about swearing, Jay? You said don't do it.
I'll mute myself.
But
Unbelievable.
Caulfield, even though he seemingly retired after an auto K, apparently isn't going anywhere. Now will be the acting GM of the Indians after the All-Star break. He's batting .467, so he's not someone he's not something to sneeze at. But
he did in the game Olympic. He did just hit a double about 20 minutes ago.
We'll see. There you go.
Yeah. Still doing really well, hanging in there, and he's. I mean, you look at the Indian roster, and batting is. But yeah, he's had plenty of at bats, and he's.
The Indians have a guy named Jose.
Yes, they do. Tara, to answer your question, yes, every team does have a rep. I had to go through that yesterday. That was fun. Our other infield sub, representing Houston, even though they are no longer on Houston, but Wilbur told me to do it anyway. Dakota, Carolina, Montana.
He was unbolded for some reason.
It's not that he's unbolded, it's that the text is slightly smaller because it did not fit on the page.
Fair enough.
So.
Yeah, I mean, it's DCM. What is there to say? He had a really tough start to the season, and he really just powered through it, and now he's just being his old self. Probably the best player in the game right now. Though, I mean, Tyler Gordon's really good, too.
DCM's only batting .321. Only .321.
Man, down here.
Yeah, compared to his last year batting, like 500?
Probably has a lot to do with that tough start. He does have 7 Ks, too, which I think is a lot.
Oh, he does have 7 extra base hits. That's still pretty good.
Yeah. All right, you want to go outfield?
So going on to the outfield subs. Our first outfield sub representing the New York Yankees is Rich Mahogany, my fellow Seinfeld fan himself.
Yeah, this guy's pretty cool.
The guy's pretty cool.
Waiting to get to the stats so I can read them off. Yeah. Yeah, I mean he hits for average. 440. He hits for average.
870.
He hits a lot of doubles. Two home runs. That's pretty average, I would say. He definitely hits to get on base. Yeah, I would say he deserves to be here.
He's got the double dream hands.
9 hits and 5 of them are doubles, and then 2 of them are also home runs. So
I also heard he is planning on naming his first child Seven.
What? What?
You'll know what I mean.
Okay.
Oh, is that some reference again? What a surprise! I've been player of the game a couple times. He's been player of the game once, but that was only a few sessions ago. So
yeah, let's not forget that he's hitting. Thank you again, Tara. Let's not forget he's hit 5 doubles and 2 home runs, and he plays half of his games at Polo Grounds.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, he has his stats diminished because of that, and is still doing well. I mean, he still has what, a 1,200 OPS. Playing a Polo is crazy.
I mean, I'm a lowly National League GM, so I don't really know from experience the woes of batting or pitching at Polo Grounds. Maybe someday.
I'll schedule you there next year.
Oh boy, we'll have an expedition. Exposition? Is that?
Hello?
I think you're looking for.
Moving on to our other outfield sub while Jay stumbles over his words, we have Assassin Panda from the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Fellow Phillies fan. He's been on that team forever too.
Yeah, he's been on that team for at least as long as I've been here.
He's been there for the entire
Yeah, has
thing.
it?
I love all these guys that have been around forever, faithful to their team, getting those nods. I mean, Assassin Panda's been good for as long as he's been in this game too. He's been one of the better outfielders in the National League.
Though I will say, if we're looking at Arizona reps, I'm gonna get hate for it, but I think Chiggins is also a very good rep for Arizona. That I think he got. It's not really robbed. I mean, they're both very equally good.
Do you mean Timothy Cheglins?
Timothy Chiglins, absolutely.
He does. Panda has a lot of strikeouts too. He's tied with Odin Luca on that team, and Odin's hitting a good .158.
But I mean, he is hitting. I mean, he's still got 1,000 OPS, so still pretty good.
It seems like he either strikes out or hits them dingers because I mean a third of his plate appearances are accounted by the strikeout. But I mean, yeah, he hits. So hey.
And 3 true outcomes. He's got it. He's not even his thing.
He's a basic.
He's got 3 true outcomes on, almost half his at bats. Adam Dunn over here.
And finally, for AL, we have our general manager, who is Zach Anderson, GM of the Royals, and who Jay is still mad at for leaving him.
This man's gonna unseat me when it comes to paper cups, and I'm gonna be so mad. He's gonna be the one to do it. I believe in him. This kid is. I love him so much on in the most intimate way you can love a minor that you met on the internet. That's all I'll say. He's a lovely man.
If you're not on a list already, you're on.
That is a little weird, but anyway, I mean, you look at what the Royals have done. It's not solely due to Zach, but I mean, Zach put together a team, people leading the leaderboard in a bunch of different stats. They're taking over on offense, and they're doing really well pitching. So,
I mean, if you just look at the stat leaderboard across all of MLR, 3 of the top 5 in slugging percentage. Bierman, Ragusa, and Gordon. It's silly over there.
I mean, I personally am well aware of his statting program. Bay does a fantastic job, but it was Anderson who basically turned the team around last year and got us to a 7, or I think it was a 10-game winning streak to the Paper Cup. So, I mean, I know how he works. I know what he does in that scouting department. He's scary. I don't know how much of that he'll use for the All-Star game, but if he uses even a little bit of his estimates, then I think the NL is going to have a tough time.
And as you can see, Assassin's Executioner got the most votes in the AL with 81. That's a silly amount of votes. Considering we had 131 votes, he got 62% of the vote.
And who can you compare at the same level as him in the AL? Like, I don't think there's anyone. There's a lot of NL catchers that are like really high up, but not a lot in the AL.
I think it's all the home runs and the slugging that gets him there. Because at the time of voting, you were batting better than him, and Nate Lewis was up there as well. But I'm not surprised to see Zach in there.
And Assassin deserves it. He should be in there. He's doing really well, and he's totally pounding the ball when he hits it. So,
is there anybody that you guys think? Who do you guys think is the biggest snub of the American League, if you can think of one off the top of your head that is not in this list?
Bierman.
Oh yeah, Bierman. That was my first thought.
Oh yeah, probably. Okay.
Although I might also
Bierman.
I don't know why I think that right away. I feel like Nicholas Romero, just because you're the third baseman on the same team as Sam Smith, baseman, and is like any other team would take Nicholas Romero over their third baseman most likely.
those
Um,
quotas.
with how he's performing. You can't because you're the backup to Sam Smith, which is just crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, okay, never mind.
So that'll conclude us on the AL side. We'll go to the NL side. To start off with the NL, we'll start with the catcher as we did the AL, and that will be Demetrios Uga from Miami, which I don't think is a surprise to literally anybody.
Also, I'd like to quickly address the chat. Pi, you have a negative P war. I don't know what you're thinking, what you're expecting here. I mean, go you. You can believe, I guess, but yeah, Demetrius Uga. Let's talk about Demetrius, who's in the chat right now and has been harassing me because he doesn't like my commentary.
Uga's batting almost 500 himself, 467, 515, 767. If you ask him, he's called 2-0 difference home runs in the same game. If you ask him. But Uga, as much crap as I give him, is very deserving to be here.
Yeah, he hits for average. He doesn't have a lot of that pop, but he makes up with it with 14 hits and 30 at bats. So that'll do it. That'll get you into the All-Star game.
Yes, it will.
Okay. I wonder, Caleb, I mean, you're high up in National League catchers. How close was this vote? Because I feel like Eikenberry, you, Bo Horst, Jackman, I feel like you all were up there. But Uga is also very active.
Doesn't Athen have like 3 plate appearances?
No,
he has a 16.
Oh, really? Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Jay. Can't cut it short.
It's a thing, thank you.
Yeah. All right.
Uga got 58. Bo Horst was in second with 34, and then the next highest after that had 8. So it was a 2-horse race.
I'd like to point out really quickly before we move on from Uga, those 3 stolen bases, which I mean doesn't really sound a lot in like MLB standards, but I mean you don't get a lot of stolen bases in this league, and that's definitely a good amount in this environment. So he's a stealer too. He's a thief, a dirty thief.
So to move on to first base, representing Montreal, we have King Fielder, who I know has been around Montreal for at least as long as I've known, and he's been lighting it up out there.
Man, I'm thinking Emer Bach. I think Emer Bach would have been a good choice. But yeah, King Fielder's been around for a while. I like him. It seems like a good pick. I need to look up his stats.
I'm looking at OPS of all first basemen, and he's third behind Tyler Gordon and Dark Dragusa, who are both in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, like, you look at those OPS, 1,600, 1,500, and 1,450, and then it drops off by 300 points. So, Fielder
he's very quietly doing very well.
Absolutely. I mean, you don't see him. Is he even in the Discord? He might be, and I have no idea.
I think he is.
But
and he's also playing. He's keeping those strikeouts down too, which was his biggest crutch last season, I know, and I think he had a lot of strikeouts in the season prior. He's seeing the ball better. He's hitting the ball better. Definitely has been a work in progress for him for the last 3 seasons, and I think he deserves this.
Thank you for pointing out that I should have used the pun of the 2-horse Jackman race. I am very sad I did not now. But to move on to second baseman, here's another name I'm going to butcher. Les Diache. Diache? Le Diache? I don't know. He's from Colorado.
Here's a guy.
Here's a guy who had 2 0 difference homers in the same session. And that's really all you need to say to make a case for that.
To check the Lindros thing on that, but still, I mean, even without that game, he's still destroying. I don't know what's going on, but
I personally am a big fan of Daniel Dove, but I mean, I can't really complain about this.
He's slugging 1389.
Yeah, but like with my argument for Foxconn, especially at the time where opening started, he did not have a lot of plate appearances, while Daniel Dove has 31. I mean, he's
But I mean,
brought them up recently, so I don't really.
and if you're looking at, you can either look at it as a contact hitter where he's batting 444, his on base percentage is 600, or you can look at it as a homer hitter where he has 4 home runs and 18 at bats. So I don't know which angle to look at it, but he's the best in the league. So as much as I love Dove and River Ride as well,
I'd like
They're
to
both doing
acknowledge,
great.
Jack, thank you. It is pronounced less DH.
really, that sounds wrong because we had H. Jimenez or H. Iñárritu. I can't remember, but that was H.
Imtiaz.
Oh, like less
Yes.
DH, there should be less DH. Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
So move on.
I'm
Shortstop. Representing the Los Angeles Dodgers, we have Ted James III.
Zero complaints here. He's clearly the best shortstop in the National League, and he's been for a while.
Yeah.
Nothing more to say.
378, 415, 730, 3 home runs.
41 plate
7
appearances. Does
9 runs scored. Does anyone have more plate appearances than that? That's a good question. If Miro were around, I would ask him.
Let me check. I'm on it.
Or maybe Daniel Dove can tell us. I don't know.
He is the most by 2.
Oh, there you go.
He has 41 plate appearances.
It's all those extra
39
inning games.
And the fact that he has an average almost at 400 with that many plate appearances is pretty incredible. Yeah, definitely. This guy is probably one of the most deserving in the All-Star game. I like him a lot. He used to help me out. Sorry for reminiscing, but he used to help me out with the old wiki. He would help put up live scores and like update the games and the scores within the wiki. So he's a cool dude too.
So now we're going to move on to third base. Another name I don't know how to pronounce the last name of, so I'm going to take my best shot. From Milwaukee, J.J. Guems. I remember hearing a lot about this guy.
I was about to say that.
A lot about this guy. He doesn't slug as much as some of the other people who've gotten in, but he's still batting .423. So.
Yeah, he's the best guy on this Milwaukee lineup. Definitely, there were a lot of grumblings from Kev about the guys that should have gotten in while he was still general manager. Also, yeah. Autumn's still on the Brewers apparently on this sheet, unless mine's out.
No, I'm gonna have to fix that. I guess we didn't get that one. I'll fix that later.
Because I know she's on my roster, but
I'll fix it in post.
Yeah, Guems definitely. Out of all the guys that were campaigned, this guy definitely is legit all-star material.
I mean, he's slugging, or no, his OPS is 1080 with no triples or home runs. That's I guess you shouldn't limit yourself in that fashion, but if you are to, that's very, very good for that.
There we go. Alrighty. We go from one Brewer to another. When we go to left field, we have Jack Marnett, who I know Kev was very highly campaigning for.
I remember trying to trade for this guy, but it kind of fell through. Yeah. I wanted him, but I didn't want to give up anything, despite him being a really good player. So I was like,
that tends to be how most GMs try to trade.
Yeah, that's a thing. Oh hey, Guems is here too. Congratulations, Guems. Yeah, Marnett.
393, 452, 607/line, a homer, 5 ribbies.
And I remember the corner outfielders in the National League being kind of shallow when it came to talent, but this guy definitely is.
Who else do you have in the field?
You have like Jack Marnett and
wait,
is it Easy Chapman? But they're not. Marnett is just dominating them.
Yeah.
So, and he has a lot more
at
plate
the time
appearances as well. Still doing well.
at the time of voting, Jack Barnett had the highest average of all left fielders in the NL by 160 points. So
A little good.
that's kind of a lot. Uh, who's next going on to center field? Another Dodger, Scotty Smalls.
Scotty. He was an all-star last year. He used to be very active in the Discord, not so much anymore. I don't even know if he's still in it, but I mean he's hitting 412, so he's kept it up. This guy has an amazing voice too. Like have you heard him? He did like an announcement. I'm not gonna talk about stats as much as just like tangents. He did.
Yes, I remember. Oh, that was great.
He did like a commentator track for like a Dodgers moment. It was so good. Man, he should commentate one of the live games if we ever start doing that again.
And we had some podcast when he came in and like did a live.
Yeah.
He announced what happened in one of our games. It was great because it sounded like I wanted to put crowd noise behind it because it sounded.
It was one of Kyle Corbett's MLR Tonights.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Corbett.
Oh, yeah.
We're dating ourselves here.
Whatever. That's fine.
All right,
I've never dated anyone else, so let's. Oh wait, no.
I'm gonna announce his name and then shut up so Jay can ooze over it. For right fielder representing the Phillies, we have Jackson Takeki.
I love this man. I love this man so much. Let me tell you, like this guy. I remember trading for. I'm gonna be like a dad watching his son get his college degree. I remember trading for a pick to get this guy. And I traded 2 right fielders to get 1 pick for 1 right fielder. And I traded to Witt at the time, and I was like, oh, wait, shit, that was probably a really bad trade. But, like, I remember one of my right fielders was inactive, so I really wanted to try to get another active one. But I also traded another active right fielder. But those guys ended up being inactive after a while. And meanwhile, Jackson Takeki, he silently had a very, very good season last year. And he came up and has started doing really, really good this year. I remember in like a 10 plate appearance streak, he had like 2 home runs, like 4 extra base hits, and 9 hits in total. He was just killing it in midseason. He's still been pretty respectable. So yeah, I love my man's Takegi. We call him Kegs, even though technically Kegs is like Kegs Mabry. That's usually what you think of when you think of Kegs in this league, but maybe that will change. So yeah, I'm really happy for him.
Alrighty. Moving on to DH, representing the St. Louis Cardinals, we have Stan Mann.
He's been a stalwart in this lineup through all of its changes.
Yeah, he's been the captain of the Cardinals, it seems. 323, 400, 613. I know he's batting really well in MILR because he talks about how he uses all of his good swings in there instead of an MLR. But still, if you're using all your good swings there and you're still batting 323.
No, yeah, definitely. He doesn't have a lot of home runs. He's above average, definitely, and I think if there were a St. Louis player, just considering like plate appearances and how long he's been on the club and how loyal he's been to the club and how active he's been on the Discord, alongside some pretty good stats, I like this pick.
Yeah, I feel like I don't think Canning had the innings when voting started. I think Canning was just coming into the league. Philippe hasn't been bad, though. Yeah, his ERA is a little high, but Philippe I wouldn't have been surprised to see as a Cardinals rep. But Stan is a good call.
Well, speaking of Philippe, let's get into those pitchers.
Pitchers. Okay, raise your hand if you're shocked. Pitcher number 1, Hank Murphy. Coming from Colorado.
I would venture, and I think you guys would probably agree with this, that Hank Murphy is the best pitcher in the league right now. Just simply because of both how amazing he's doing this season and just like how, in general, his career has been pretty incredible.
Yeah, I could see it either him or Vader.
Hey, yeah, Vader too. But Vader as a GM, I kind of put into a little bit of a background category. But yeah, definitely Vader's been up there too. I love me some Hank Murphy though.
Yeah, he's got a whip under 1, which is, kind of good. ERA of 2.04. We just played him in session 11, and he is just so hard to hit. But
I feel like we've played him last season. He was really good.
It's one of those guys that, like, I hate how hard he is to hit, but I respect the hell out of him.
Also weird with Hank too, because he'll give up like 4 hits in an inning and give up 2 runs, and then nothing else for the rest of the game. He'll maybe have 1 bad inning, and after that, he's completely shutting down teams.
Yeah.
Was he in? I'm trying to think. Was he an All-Star last season, or was he new at that time? I think he was an All-Star last season. I'll have to go back and check.
Yeah. So moving on to the second pitcher from the Miami Marlins, Valeria Vasova. Which, again, raise your hand if you're shocked. I'm not. Vasova's been doing very well. Hadn't given up a home run up until about a day ago. But has really been a really solid arm for the Marlins this year.
Yeah, she's captained that team a lot, especially when Strad was having personal things where he had to sort of go away from the team for a little bit, and more recently, yeah, Vasova's been pretty dominant. I mean, that ERA is under 1.5 right now. The whip is really low. K per 6 is pretty admirable too. I mean, 21 Ks overall, and yeah, like you said, just gave up their first her first home run. I definitely, this is one of the more obvious picks.
Yeah. We get to the third pitcher from the San Diego Padres, Filet Mignon Jackson, who actually move that out of order.
I can
Jackson.
I can talk a bit about him after. I guess you definitely could too.
Jackson, the Padres have had a lot of dark spots, obviously, with the 0-11 start. But Jackson he's actually been pretty good, as long as he doesn't pitch the first inning. But once he's out of the first inning, he's great. Shutdown. But I like the guy. 1.24 WHIP. Yeah, the 3.71 ERA is up there, but
the chat is going insane because Andrew Peters is not on this All-Star roster. I mean, there's the mandatory team things, you know how it be. I wrote about him, Jackson, in my MLR rankings article yesterday. I wrote that he has a lot of bright spots. I don't think of him as an all-star pitcher yet, but at the same time, I mean, with the guidelines that I'm pretty sure we all voted on, he definitely is the most deserving of the Padres, I would say, or one of the most deserving. I mean, my man's Caleb Athen, wherever he is. I don't know if he's watching right now, but he's pretty good too. But I mean, Filet's kept. He's been steady, a steady piece of a rather difficult time for the Padres. He's been doing pretty well, so I'm proud of him for getting this.
For the people freaking out in the chat, had Filet, I will openly say Filet was put in because the Padres need a rep, but had Filet not been in, Andrew Peters would still not have made it.
Mic drop.
Wow.
Because everyone's freaking out that Peters got robbed, and unless you people were all the people who voted for Peters, you didn't vote for him.
Who was it? Who would have been number 3, if I may ask?
Was Magnus?
It would have been either Darth Vader had he not been a GM.
I wouldn't like that.
Or Dylan Green would have been next.
Oh, I like Dylan Green.
I was going to say Dylan Green was probably the next choice.
Yeah.
And I mean that as no disrespect to Peters, but
Wow. Okay.
That's how it would have went.
Yeah, Dylan Green, coming off of a rookie of the year season, he's been very good too. Yeah, I
Yeah.
would say probably better than. I would have to look into it a little bit more, but he probably has been better than Green. I would not have liked Darth Vader to be in this roster at all, so I'm happy that it's not him, and it's Filet.
I wouldn't have liked that as a rooter for the AL because he's really good at pitching. But yeah, as well, he's a GM, so it's for the players.
Going on to
Gosh,
the
we have a bad like dislike ratio on the YouTube video. I don't know if you saw that. Oops.
Well,
Y'all should smash that like button.
I mean,
Swear at the last moment. Don't
Okay.
worry. That was for you, Ikna.
all right, let's get on to the infield subs now.
So going on to infield subs. First infield sub from Pittsburgh is Emmer Bach, the first baseman.
Yeah, I mentioned him earlier, and Milo and I mentioned him on our podcast on Sunday. Definitely one of the most consistently good players in this league.
But
yeah,
he's batting 370, 379, 519.
Yeah, and he missed
So-
a bid with the All-Star game last year. I remember
Yeah.
him and Pikov Andropov, who was doing really well at the time. So I'm glad he got some credit in this game. Is Bach a her? No, I think I thought Bach was a her, and then I was told not. If Bach is a her, oh my god! Because I remember thinking that Bach was a her, and then being told it was not a her, and now if I'm being told it actually is a her, whatever.
Hey, Bach, you're doing well, no matter which side you're on.
Bach,
So,
I'm proud of you.
Okay. Our second infielder sub is Daniel Dove
Mm.
from Chicago. Again, I don't think it's any surprise he's in the game. I think it's a little bit of a surprise he might not be starting, but he's been. I know he steals a lot of bases, but I don't have to look at stats for that.
I've made my piece on Dove. Dove. Oh, his name's Dove. I like him a lot.
It is Dove.
Yeah, I know. It's like when that one guy said that his name wasn't Athen, it was Athan. Ugh.
It's a Thed.
his name is a full sentence, which I think deserves being in the All-Star game anyway.
But anyway, Daniel Dove. 323 because the guy doesn't know what the word walk means. And 516 slugging. 4 stolen bases, 6 ribbies. Overall, pretty good year.
Do you
But-
see this comment up here? Oh, never mind. Just keep going.
Do I see what comment?
Never mind. Just keep going.
Moving on to our outfield subs. Our first outfield sub from the Giants is Kento Bird.
Yeah, the guy that everyone's saying got robbed. Where's Kentho? Oh my god.
And throw. Whoa.
Kento is an outfielder, everybody.
Kentho.
Oh.
Oh, God. It's not Ken Throw. I'm an idiot.
Did you think it was Kenthro?
I'm not even paying attention.
So
I'm-
Kento did not get robbed. He is in fact in the game. 455, 536, 909 for a batting line. 2 homers, 7 runs scored. He's a pretty good player.
Really handsome. I'm sorry, that's not relevant.
He's really handsome.
I'm getting to
He
those shit post hours of podcasting.
That's fair. That's fair. We're almost done, Jay.
Sounds good.
But he is definitely very deserving. He got, I think, the highest votes of someone who didn't start. I'd have to go confirm that.
Chalk this guy up as another guy that I've tried to trade for in the past. To obviously no success.
I'm gonna go confirm that now. Yeah, Kento received 43 votes. Just Tageki received 54. So So we're moving on. I'm just going to ignore the Preller in the room. Our other outfield sub from the New York Mets, Joe Watson. Joe Watson, this kid is great.
Batting 385.
Yeah, from the time that I was with him in San Diego to the time that I'm with him in New York, he's a great teammate.
Going through 10-20.
And is one of the most consistent hitters I've seen. So he's batting 385, 448, 538. He was always that clutch hitter when we needed him. So
him real quick. Yeah, he's definitely in a struggling Mets lineup. He's probably, I would say, face of the franchise right now.
I can see that.
He's like their top prospect that has been doing well.
Yeah, Joe knows that I love the guy, but he's also pretty good at League of Legends. Anyway.
Athen, also tell me if Milo has no noise on his end, because I muted him.
So. I muted him because I think I muted him in the channel.
Okay. Well, he can DM me.
And finally, the GM of the NL All Stars from Montreal, Pete Jones. So Pete Jones will be GMing the team. A GM that just started not that long ago, but she's been killing it in Montreal ever since she got there.
Yeah, there's this really nice GM on the Phillies or something, but that I would have liked to see in here. But I mean, it's not every day you get somebody like Jones who will come into a team that's really struggling activity wise and just not just turn it around, but turn it into one of the most active, most successful teams in the league. So definitely this is deserving.
Yeah. King Fielder from the Expos also received the most votes with exactly 69 votes.
Nice. Everyone already said nice. Oh, because he already saw the 69 votes. They beat you to it, man. I mean, yeah, that's all. I guess that's all we got.
Finally, we have. I'm not going to go through them one at a time.
Oh shit! I didn't add them. Hold up, I can still.
You didn't add that.
I can still add them. It's okay.
Amateur.
Don't yell at me. Not in front of the fans. Hold on, I'll just add them real quick. It's okay. Don't riot. I need to add a new scene
though. Jeff Diggerhitter, I'll get to you in a minute.
Oh, I love Jeff. Hi, Jeff. What is he doing?
Someone asked how close he was.
I love
it. Might have been him.
Mr. Diggerhitter. All right. Are you ready?
I'm also going to shout out Chuck. Hi, Chuck.
Are you?
And I'm also going to shout out that Schrodinger Pitchier is best pitchier.
Are you ready to announce? Because I have.
Yes. Right. So we have our MILR All Stars also. Lot of good names on here. Eric Cohen, Lane Drew, Twatson, Meerkat Wood, Iato's on there, Dallas Houston, Diggerhitter made the MILR All-Star game, just to name a few. Thomas Nova, Jim. Every single one of these people is deserving of being in that game. They've been going nuts down there. But I
would like to say the name Philippe Al Enhar Jr. so he stops asking me to mention him.
Yes, hello, Philippe.
Hi, Philippe.
So, our GMs for that game are Harry Paratestes and a shared GMsmanship between Miroslav and Fernando Cruz. Because Miroslav doesn't know if he'll be able to 100% commit to it because of work issues right now. So he'll be splitting the time with his co-GM. All these people, I'm going to have to set up a time. We're going to have a draft, a schoolyard pick for the two MILR teams. And that'll be a very exciting game, hopefully, in the phone bill.
Do we
So,
have announced yet?
do we have what?
Announced yet?
Do we have announced? I have the list of umps.
Oh yeah, that might be good to announce.
Uh, it's 6 umps per game. The way it's working is that we're going to have 6 umps. Each ump is going to ump 1 inning of the game. This was decided by the umpire chat. So, our 6 umps for the MLR All-Star game, in order of votes received, are Zum, Milograms, Eikenberry, Meerkat, Morello, and Ricky Tucker. And our umps for the MILR All-Star game are myself, Pete, Preller, Rich Mahogany, Wisova, and Yolanda. So
Yay.
we're gonna have to set that up over the course of the next day or two, since the session 12 ends tomorrow, which means the All-Star game should theoretically be starting on Friday. So we gotta get that set up for that in time. But besides that, that's everything.
Yeah, we should be done right now.
Yeah.
Good rest of this session, everybody. Good luck on the All-Star game coming up soon, and good luck on the rest of your seasons. Look out for the second article of my ML ranked series, which I'll be doing numbers 20 to 16, I think, ranking pitching staffs. And they're a lot of fun, so you should check them out and tell me what you think about them. Anything else, Ethan?
No, that's it. Thank you everyone for joining. But
We'll see you later.
have a good night.